So, ladies and gentlemen, your reality, despite putting all the effort in that you can, is not showing up how you would like, and maybe even showing up the complete opposite. You've been left on red by your person when things have been going well. You seem to be getting rejected for interviews despite having an amazing CV and doing your affirmations. This is something every manifestor goes through at some point in their journey. And in today's video, I'm clearing up why that may be happening and what you can do about it. Now, of course, I never sugarcoat things, so I will be giving you some hard truths in this video. But if you're here for a little bit of hope and a little bit of positive news, point 2 may absolutely be for you. So stick out to then or check the timestamp. But for now, drop me a like and a comment on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And let's get started. So we have point number 1, which is the truth. The truth may be, and this is only a possibility because I'm covering possibilities. You will need to watch what I'm talking about and then make your own distinction. It may be that you are not doing as well as you think you are. We can all agree that the negative side of things tends to get to us more than the positive does. You know, if something really exciting happens, we may have an hour of feeling really good and then it levels out. If something negative is happening, it can often take us days to truly get over it. Because as humans being built for survival, we need to inflate how bad something may be to keep us from it, essentially. So, when it comes to the process of manifestation, as a coach and a manifester, what I've seen quite regularly is that people think they're doing better than they are with the amount of positive work that they're doing and don't quite credit how quote unquote bad they may be doing to how bad they actually are doing. They'll say to me things like, oh, I'm in the state maybe 60% of the time and then 40% I'm not. And then when you dive a little bit deeper, and of course, this is just numbers and examples, but you dive a little bit deeper, it turns out they're actually maybe closer to 50-50, sometimes even 40-60, because they didn't realize the constant mental chatter that they had going on at work, for example. So the first point, the opposite may be showing up, possibly, like I said, you need to make your own distinction because you haven't been as aligned as you had thought you were. And that's where this diagram comes in. It comes in to explain it. Hopefully you can see it. This pen is running out a little bit, so I may swap to the blue one. And I also don't really know how to remove that little phone recording light, which is really annoying. Opposite showing up. The manifestation process as a whole is the more dominant story regarding your topic that you're focusing on is what manifests, not the more dominant story overall. So if you've been awake for, let's say, 12 hours, you don't need to be in the state of being in a relationship with Deborah for 7 of those hours to make it dominant. That is not how it works. It's of those 12 hours, if you've been thinking of your desire for 2 hours, you want to ensure that the majority of those 2 hours, just for numbers purposes, 1.5 hours, is in the state. Just to clarify that. So what we've got here is a little diagram. Where's my little tissue? It's in my pocket. Yes. So what we've got here is a little bit of a diagram to explain this. So you know that consciousness creates your thoughts, the bonus of your feelings, and so on, creates your reality. If you're having sad thoughts, and here we've got the diagram to explain dominant state. If you're having bad thoughts, they don't want me, I can't seem to get jobs, anything negative, this is adding weight to the bad side of that story, which is going to make it go down. Apologies if you can hear that sound, it's the pipes. So if you're having bad thoughts, it's adding weight to the bad side of this balancing scale. If you're having good thoughts, they want me, we're in a loving relationship, I have loads of money, yada, yada, yada. You're having loving thoughts, good thoughts, abundant thoughts, which is subsequently adding to the weight of the good side. And then the dominant state of that story then plays out in consciousness in your reality. You cannot have what you do not have. Now, there's some confusion about that, so I will clarify what that means. You cannot have what you do not have is to state that on the external, you cannot experience what you do not internally experience. If you have a broke mindset, you cannot experience money or abundance. And if you do, on the off chance, you'll lose it fairly quick. We've all had this. We've all had something like a random car bill come out right when we just got a bonus, or a vet bill or something like that right as we just got that pay rise or something, because we haven't quite got the abundant mindset yet. So you cannot have what you do not have. Externally, you cannot experience what you do not have internally. So if we go back to this diagram, then it may well be that the external is following perfectly to what you have going on in consciousness, because you're more dwelling, you're adding more association, you're more consistent with being in those undesired thoughts than you are in the desired thoughts. Now, I will get onto the solution of this in point 3. I'm going to save it for there because it's also the solution for point 2. So I just want to combine them together. But if the opposite is showing up for you, it may well just simply be a case that you have been more aligned to the undesired than the desired. And there's not necessarily some kind of test or some kind of purge and things like that. But this, and I'll give you a little bit of a hint of what you need to do in part 3 so you can have it here at least. What this needs is a personal inventory to see what you have been doing. Sit with yourself objectively at the end of each day. In fact, I have a daily manifestation planner that is completely free, link down below, that I urge you to get because it'll help you do this. But sit with yourself at the end of the day, so this is your like day scale, around about here before bed, and go, what was I like during this? Be as objective as possible. Was I in the state? Let me move this forward a little bit. Oh, that's a bar that's just come out. 1 second. Was I in the state or was I not? If I wasn't in the state, why? What stopped me from being in the state? Was there particular triggers and things like that? I will get more into that in point 3, but this is just what I urge you to do, is that personal inventory. Actually sit with yourself objectively and be honest. Because by being dishonest and say, yeah, I've been doing better than everybody else, why have I not got my desire yet? It's only going to keep you back if in actuality you've not been doing too good. So what you need to consider and keep in mind when the opposite may be showing up as far as this sort of the truth element is that you may just simply be aligned to the undesired more than you thought you have, or not aligned to the positive as much as you thought you had been, which has been holding your manifestation back. And if it's the dominant state, like if it's, consistent, well, of course, that's going to then create undesired outcomes because it's following your manifestation. Now, this leads us into point 2, which is, and I don't really like advocating you use this, but we all know what it is, so I will put it there. The purge. Can you see that all right? Yeah, I think you can. The purge. Now, the purge, I believe, is a term coined by Neville Goddard. I don't know if anybody else said it before, or if it was referenced before, but the purge plays into a quote that I really like, and I spoke about this on the live stream the other day if you were in it. In order to create, one must first destroy. It's actually a quote from Prometheus as well, the film. Obviously, it probably come from someone else before then, but that's where I remember it from every time. In order to create, one must first destroy. The purge. The purge is actually a good thing, because the purge is tearing away the undesired to make room for the desired. So, and you're probably sitting there thinking, like, what the hell? How does that even work? Let's say, this is going to be a brief case before you judge me. Let's say you want a new job. You're just sick of your job. You want more money, blah, blah, blah. You've been manifesting a new job. 3 weeks later, you get fired. And then like you're like, well, what the hell? I was manifesting a new job. I should have got more abundance. I should have been given a pay rise. I should have been given the props that I deserve from this company. Why on earth has it gone the opposite way? And you're like, crap for yourself. Manifestation doesn't work. Matthew, you're a fraud. Yada, yada, yada. 2 weeks go by of applying for jobs. All of a sudden, you're on Indeed, which is a job site in the UK. I don't know if it's in any others, and you see this perfect job, absolutely perfect job. It's got the salary, the work from home hours you want, the community driven, everything that you could ever want in a job. You interview, hired on the spot. Now that job was perfect. If you still had your job, would you have been looking on Indeed for a new one? Probably not, because you were in your job. You were affirming, you were expecting it to just fall into your lap, but you needed to get fired. Your subconscious mind did that inspired action element. I suppose in this case, it inspired external things to move as opposed to yourself, but you're manifesting a new job, doing your affirmations, doing your visualizations. Your boss goes, look, we got to let you go. Inspired action from the external, and you're like, okay, you're still doing your manifestation despite maybe a little bit of frustration. You're staying in that dominant state of it though. Inspired action, you then check on Indeed on that particular time, perfect job, interview, perfectly hired for your dream job. If you didn't get fired, you wouldn't have been looking for a new job. Therefore, it needed to happen. In order to create your new job, it must first have destroyed your current one. Now that's a job example. I know many of you are here for specific people, so let me give you a specific person example. Okay, I'll do a, this is now a suitcase, because I'm going to try and draw a suitcase. Your person, you see online on Instagram that your person is going on holiday with the 3P. With 3P. And you're like, again, what the hell? I've been affirming that we're together. I've been affirming that everything is absolutely incredible, that there's nobody else involved. This has gone this way. And I'll put in here, I'll even write it for you. Matt is a fraud. He told me I could have my person, and now they're going on holiday. Everything he says doesn't work. Well, while they're on that holiday, so let's say it's a 2-week holiday, he hates her. Or she hates him. I'd put that. It turns out she is so annoying. She's rude to waiters, or he's rude to waiters and he's annoying. They don't have the chemistry. They wanted to do different things. And it leads him or her to realize you are the one. Because of when you guys went on holiday, or like when you guys share time together or whatever, however your circumstance lays out for this example, you're just so easy to get along with. And they realize, actually, this person isn't for me. We can't even go on a relaxing holiday without arguing. We can't even go on a holiday without wanting to be separate. They come back, break up. They come to you. Now, had they not been in that circumstance, had your person not seen the third party in that kind of light, it could have been another 2 or 3 weeks, another 2 or 3 months, or even maybe another year before they separated, for example purposes. But they went on holiday, which seems like things are going good, turns out to go bad. In order to create them coming back to you, something had to go wrong, i.e. they went on holiday, which you would have deemed as a bad thing. And understandably so, I definitely can see why you're seeing things that way. But we don't know what the subconscious mind is doing. And even something as seemingly bad as them going on holiday, or as them getting fired, can actually turn out to be a great thing, because it opens a space for something else to fill it. Another little example, let me, and Katie actually laughed at me in the live stream for this one, so I'll see if I can do. Okay, I can't do a better drawing. I'll just draw the space bar here, and then you guys, and like the enter key there. A laptop. Let's say you got this pesky little file here, and you want to delete it. And here's the bin. You drag that file down to the bin. The laptop goes, are you sure? It's purging. Are you sure? It's giving you the option to say yes or no. Now, if you say yes, gone. The file goes. If you say no, file stays. This, in essence, is what is going on. Now, what I just gave you was the subconscious mind removing something in order to bring you something that you want, which is why I put inspired action. Because in these kind of instances, it's the subconscious mind basically saying, I need to get you that new job because that's what you're saying you've got. Let me put you in the pathway to get that new job. Or let me put you in the pathway to get that person or whatever. This analogy is more stated from those emotional purges and those last-ditch efforts for the old story to stay. Your ego, while it doesn't create, it's part of the equation as to what feeds your subconscious mind story that you play out. This is why if you're constantly letting the ego get the best of you, you'll stay continuously repeating whatever it is it's getting the best of you on. Because the ego is putting you in states of consciousness, and if I'll only draw it small this time, states of consciousness, and if you're more dominantly in those bad states, you're adding weight to that bad state. So while the ego isn't the creative factor, it may hinder you because it's continuously putting you in that negative state of consciousness. So take this analogy, the ego doesn't like discomfort doesn't like the unfamiliar, because unfamiliarity breeds discomfort, and discomfort breeds a higher likelihood of unsafety. And obviously the ego is built to keep us safe physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So what we've got here is the ego basically hitting DEFCON 1, which I think is the worst one if I remember correctly. It doesn't go up in numbers, it goes down. It's crapping its pants basically and going, don't take me out of this familiarity that I'm used to. Here's bad circumstances, here's bad emotions, here's all of these things as a last-ditch effort to basically go, are you sure? Please keep us where we are. It's quivering in its little booties. And that's why you can sometimes experience purges. That's why you can sometimes be doing amazing emotionally for a week and then all of a sudden have the worst emotional day you've ever had in your life on the 8th day. Because the ego has basically gone, I don't know where we're going. I don't know what to do. You're telling me that things are real, that I'm seeing the opposite, and it's crapping itself. And it throws out these things to basically go, are you sure? Look, here's the negative circumstance that we're so used to reacting to. Let's react to it. Let me just feel comfortable that it's real still. Here's the emotions that you're so used to, the anxieties. Here's more of them. Let me just feel like you are still on my side. Like the file. You're trying to delete the old story. The ego goes, are you sure? And gives you feelings and circumstances and all of these kind of instances to basically get you to say, no, I don't want to delete it. These feelings, these circumstances are real, which you say by reacting, by dwelling upon, and so on. If you continue to persist, which is what point 3 actually will be about, if you continue to persist, you then tell the ego and all of that side of things, and the subconscious mind, of course, yes, this new story is real. And then the new story becomes the new familiar. And then the ego will be on your side and thus creative for you. So that's what the purge is. The purge is basically that last-ditch effort from your ego to stay alive, or potentially the subconscious mind removing things to make way for new things. The best way that I can decipher within my own experiences which of those two it is within the purge is how you feel. If you are feeling crap, but you've genuinely done point 1 properly, like you are actually in that state dominantly, and it's not as a result of you not doing the work how you should have done, but if you're genuinely feeling bad, I would be typically inclined to say it's ego trying to keep the file alive. Again, assuming you've done point one properly. If you're feeling good or like don't really care or like things like that, I would typically say that is inspired steps. Submind making it happen. Typically. Obviously, you can get a mixed match of the two. Like if you do get fired and you're like a little bit upset, a little bit anxious, a little bit doubty and things like that, then I think that's perfectly normal. But use this as like a rough guide. If you're absolutely falling apart, probably ego. If you're a bit disappointed, but you're kind of still ready to go forward, you're able to see positives from it and things like that, typically the subconscious mind moving the steps. And that's how I sort of decipher between the two. Both opposites of what you would like, but both leading you the right way. And that's why, obviously, I said point two was the good one. Now, point three is the solution. And I think you've probably deciphered what this is. But whether it's the truth or whether it's the purge, the same process goes forward. Doesn't matter if you've been doing genuinely bad or genuinely good, because consciousness, I always spell consciousness wrong. Consciousness creates. So, whether you've got bad feelings, bad thoughts, bad circumstances, been doing bad, whatever it is, anything bad, we just want to get rid of and focus on the end. Because if consciousness creates, if you focus on the good side of the purge, which would be the subconscious mind moving the steps, like the job example, the bad side of the purge, which is the ego, or doing well in your process, or doing bad, if any of these take your consciousness in an unfavorable way, might as well get rid of that section. If any of these take your consciousness in an unfavorable way, you will just create that undesired reality anyway. Even if it is, let's say, the good one where the subconscious mind is like removing something to get you something, i.e. the job in this example, if you're seeing, one of my lights died, hopefully you can still see it, right? If you're seeing the lack of job as a terrible thing and you're freaking out and you're getting all of those negatives, you're just showing your subconscious mind lack. And what it will do is it will just keep you in lack because it has to follow those directions. It has to follow the paths and such. Let me move this light closer. Hopefully that helps. So regardless of what happens, whether it's you doing bad, whether it's you doing good, whether it's your reality purging as a result of the ego or your reality purging as a result of the subconscious mind moving in your favor, the process is still the same. Commit to the end. Because by committing to the end, regardless of what version this is, you will still manifest it. Because if you've been doing bad and you choose to commit to the end, you will manifest it. If it's purging due to the ego and you commit to the end, you show your ego, no, I have what I want, it will manifest it. If it's purging because of the subconscious mind moving the steps, you say, yeah, keep moving those steps. I'm abundant. It's going to give you abundance. And if you've been doing well and the opposite happens, I suppose that would just be the ego or the subconscious mind moving the steps. So the solution is the same. Commit to the end. And go back to point one with that personal inventory to see where you truly are at. Because it's easier to commit to the end when you have a process in mind. If you're not taking a personal inventory, you're kind of just leaving it up to chance as to whether or not you were doing good. So I do urge you, especially if you're having these troubles or if you're new to manifestation, take some time out of the day at the end of the day to just see how you were doing. Because then that'll give you more idea of your triggers, your strengths, your weaknesses, and so on. If you have a better understanding of those things, you can then have a better handle of them when they arise. So commit to the end regardless of what you're experiencing. Don't go freaking out. Don't go commenting how shit doesn't work. Don't go calling me a fraud. Don't go doing all of that kind of stuff because you're just wasting your own time. I don't care if I get mean comments. I don't actually often get them, but I don't care when I don't get them. So you're actually wasting your time more than you're wasting mine. And by posting those comments, you're just boosting my algorithm anyway. So thanks for that. So instead of moaning about it, instead of melting down, instead of complaining, commit. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, I think you can. Commit to the end result. Take the personal inventory to get a really good understanding of where you are at within consciousness, and then pursue that end result from a better, more clear state of mind. The opposite showing up is not necessarily a bad thing. If it's as a result of a bad thing, i.e. you doing bad, then all you need to do is tweak. It's not like it showing up is now that's it, game over, you can never get what you want. It just means tweak going forward. That's literally it. Manifestation, because it's as a result of the subconscious mind has no concept of past, present, and future as separate entities. And it also doesn't know what is real and what's fake. So the second that you decide an outcome to be and commit to it, regardless of whether it's been a month, a week, a year, or 10 years, you can still have things work out. So commit to the process, commit to doing what works, get yourself on track. And you will manifest your desire, regardless of whether it's gone the complete opposite way or in your favor. But thank you very much for being here with me today. I really do hope that you have enjoyed this video and found value in it. If you have, drop me a like and a comment to let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to click that bell icon. And if you need any one-to-one help to overcome what is going on in your situation, and you want tailored advice as opposed to this like general stuff that's on YouTube, I do have phone calls, video calls, and emails available. Or if you would like some courses that you can really get stuck into that are really in-depth and will give you everything you need, I do have courses available. Or the Academy, where you can work with me, you can get every product of mine for free, discounts on all of my other products and services, or all of my other services, all the courses for free, all of my exclusive member videos for free, the Elite Manifesto program, the private Telegram group, and more, which is actually available lifetime, which once you're in, and you will never be asked for another penny again. Or it's monthly membership, which is cancelled at any time if you just want to dabble and see what it's all about. So go check those out. They are linked down below. But for now, don't crap yourself. You can turn it around. And no matter how bad you've done, no matter how much the ego is freaking out, and no matter how bad the destruction is in order to create, you, my good friend, can still turn it around. But thank you for being here, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.